back to another video of the HTML and CSS web development course. So in the last video we created our folder hierarchy, we created the files we need for our portfolio website. And in this video we're going to create the row and the columns for the grid system. So as I explained before, the grid system has a width of 100%, and that width of 100% that is divided by 12. So you have like 12 columns, and that's what we're gonna write today. So first thing we're gonna do, inside the HTML, we're gonna call head, open this up, and we're gonna link our our CSS. So we're gonna call link rel of style sheet of type text CSS. Now we're gonna call href, and we're going to call css-index.css. Going to close this up. Then we call link rel style sheet. Oh, wait a second, that's not title, that has to be rel. And we're going to call type of text-css href css and grid.css. And the third but not least, we're going to call rel, we're going to call style sheet of type text css href css navigation.css. So okay, so we linked our CSS to our index. If you want, you can look for the template inside the downloaded content for the course. You don't have to write this yourself if you don't want to. So what we're gonna do, we go to the grid.css. We're gonna open up a comment, and we're gonna call this grid CSS. Okay, go close it up. So now we're gonna do some stuff we haven't done before. And don't worry about this, you're gonna understand it on the way. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna call row, and we're gonna give this a display of flex. So display property, we worked with this before. We used it as inline for our navigation in the beginning of the course. After that we used it as a display block for our images, and now we're gonna use flex. So what display flex does, it makes sure that the content is flexed over the whole width of the screen. So in this case the row, that's going to be display flex, and it makes sure that how big the width it is, it will always flex with it. So the bigger you make it, it keeps flexing, and if you make it smaller, it will be smaller. We're going to give this a width of 100%. Okay. And a width of 100% makes sure that the row is always at 100%. So at maximum width, that it doesn't look smaller or bigger, just 100%. So something else, something we didn't do yet, we're gonna call row dash dash of double point, and then after that one, we're gonna open it up, and we're gonna give this one a display of block. And we're gonna give this clear of both, and we're gonna give this a content of empty string. Okay, so what this does, so we created a row, and we also want rows to know what to do after a row. So let's say you create 2 rows in one container. This makes sure that the rows keep stacking under each other. So if you have like 10 rows, that the rows keep under each other and they are not gonna look funky or weird on your website. So this looks really nice. Third thing we're gonna do, we're gonna create our columns. So as explained, a column inside a row. In that column you have your content, and a row is in CSS, a row is always 12 columns. So that means, or it is divided by 12 columns. So what it means is when you make columns in a row, it always has to end up at 12. So for example, 12 times 1, 6 times 2, 4 times 3, 3 times 4, and so on. And we're now going to create the columns for that. So we're going to call dot call -1. So call -1, that is going to be the column for 12 of 100 divided by 12. That is going to be a width of 8.33%. Semicolon to close it up. So now you think like, hey, wait a second, what's this? Well, I'm going to explain this. So when you divide 100 by 12, so 100% by 12 columns, the one column is 8.33% width, big size. That's how, and that's a little bit how grid systems work. So we're going to call call2, parentheses, we're going to call width. And this one, as you guessed it, it's 16.66. I'm going to call call3. And this one is going to be a width of 25%. That one's wrong. We have to put the semicolon outside the parentheses, otherwise CSS is going to crash it. So then we have column 4. We're going to call width as well. And column 4 has a width of 33.33%. Oh, wait a second, we have to put this inside the... I made a mistake there. The semicolons, make sure you put them inside the parentheses. So we're going to call column 5, parentheses, we're going to call width. And the column 5 is 41.66%. Then we're going to call 6. I understand that this can be a little bit boring, but this is just really important, and the best thing is it makes building websites a lot easier when you do it like this. So I'm going to give this a width of 58.33%. Call 8 is going to be a width of 66.66%. Call -9. I'm going to give this a width Oh, wait a second, wrong parentheses. So column 9 is going to be 75%. Then we have call 10. Oh. This is going to be a width of 83.33%. Call -11. It's going to be a width of 91.66%. And last but not least is going to be call -12 of a width of 100%. So what did we do here? As you can see, we wrote 12 column classes, and each with its own width. And when you calculate this back, when you divide 100% by 12, you get 1 is 8.23, 16.66, so on, so on, so on, so on. So those are the columns. Something else we're going to implement is this one. This is something you don't have to worry about too much. I'm going to open it, and we're going to give this a box sizing. Of border box. So what this does, this makes sure that the content you put inside a column doesn't escape the column itself, so it doesn't look really weird or really funky. And now we're going to do something completely new. We're going to call class star equals, and we're going to call dash. and then we're gonna open this up. So what this does, when a class name is equal to col-1 or something like that, we're gonna do a border of 2px solid and we're gonna give this a red color. Okay, we're gonna give this some padding of 15px, and last but not least we're gonna let this float to the left. Okay, so what the last one does, when we are going to create our grid system, it gives us like a border so that we see what the grid does. And this looks really interesting. I think we did a lot of stuff now. In the next video, I'm going to show you a little bit how the grid system like this works. And after that, we're going to start building our portfolio website. So I hope you learned something in this 12-minute video. Of course, we didn't do anything, I didn't show you anything yet. This is just the column building. So in the next video, you're gonna see what the power of this is. So as stated, I hope you learned something and I hope to see you in the next video.